Imagine a political figure, initially seen as an extremist, rising rapidly to the highest office in a democratic nation. Then, in a shockingly short period, completely dismantling that democracy and seizing absolute control. How could such a swift and profound transformation occur, especially in a country with established democratic institutions? Adolf Hitler consolidated power as Chancellor through a calculated combination of exploiting constitutional loopholes, using emergency decrees, leveraging political violence and intimidation, and skillfully employing propaganda, all within a few months after his appointment on January 30, 1933. He did not seize power overnight but systematically dismantled the Weimar Republic from within. The Weimar Republic's constitution, while democratic, possessed an inherent weakness in Article 48. This provision allowed the president to rule by emergency decree without parliamentary consent in times of crisis. The profound political instability of the early 1930s, exacerbated by a severe economic depression and frequent changes in government, created fertile ground for extremist parties to flourish. A crucial turning point came with the Reichstag Fire in February 1933, merely weeks after Hitler assumed the chancellorship. This event allowed him to persuade President Hindenburg to issue the Reichstag Fire decree, which suspended fundamental civil liberties, enabling the Nazis to suppress political opponents, especially communists, through widespread arrests and censorship. Although Hitler's coalition government initially held a minority of seats, the systematic suppression of Communist Party members altered the parliamentary arithmetic significantly. The Enabling Act, passed in March 1933, represented the legal cornerstone of his dictatorship. It effectively transferred legislative power from the Reichstag to the Chancellor and his cabinet for years, bypassing parliamentary approval for laws. This act required a two-thirds majority, which was achieved through a climate of intense intimidation and the forced absence of arrested communist members. Understanding this historical process highlights how democracies can become vulnerable when their foundational institutions are weak, when economic despair is widespread, and when political actors are willing to exploit crises for personal gain. It serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of protecting civil liberties, upholding constitutional checks and balances, and resisting the normalization of political violence. Examining this period provides valuable lessons on the fragility of democratic governance and the mechanisms through which authoritarian regimes can emerge. One key insider detail is the concept of Gleichschaltung, or coordination. This was not a single event but a comprehensive strategy to synchronize all aspects of German society with Nazi ideology and control. It involved eliminating opposition parties, disbanding trade unions, purging the civil service, and asserting Nazi control over media, education, and cultural institutions. The speed and thoroughness of Gleichschaltung meant that by mid-1934, Germany had transitioned from a multi-party democracy to a totalitarian one-party state, with virtually no independent institutions remaining. The army leadership, still powerful, took an oath of allegiance directly to Hitler after President Hindenburg's death in August 1934, cementing his personal authority as Führer and Chancellor. Hitler's consolidation of power was thus a methodical process, meticulously orchestrated to exploit existing political vulnerabilities and constitutional provisions. It was a rapid, yet incremental, dismantling of democratic norms and institutions, demonstrating how a charismatic leader, coupled with a willing political elite and a population yearning for stability amid crisis, can dramatically alter the course of a nation. This historical sequence underscores the critical vigilance required to safeguard democratic principles and prevent the erosion of civil freedoms.
If history fascinates you, like, subscribe, and explore more with us.